Hello, Home Slices. It's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting coming to you knowing that I have missed or I have not reviewed the past 5 or 6 episodes of Braxton Family Values. Now, first off, thank you for watching this video, for clicking on it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of that jazz. I, for the past few weeks, have had a crazy schedule, school, work, going on vacations and going out of town. Say hi, Bo. That's my dog, Bo, being nosy. But anyways, I've had kind of a hectic time over the past few weeks and have not been consistently reviewing Braxton Family Values. One, because I was kind of losing interest in it, and two, because things with work and school and all that kind of stuff going out of town has been kind of hectic for me. But now that school is almost over for the students that attend the school that I work at, and also now that next week is finals week for me and my graduate program at University of Washington, I feel like now I'm kind of in a place to kind of get back into the habit of doing more consistent reviews for reality TV shows. So, Braxton Family Values, of course, continued without me, and I did not do my reviews, but I spent this weekend cleaning up around the house and, folding clothes, and during that time, I got to watch the last 5 or 6 episodes of Braxton Family Values that I missed, and honestly, I regret that I did not record those videos because the season got progressively better, apparently, after I stopped watching it, okay? So here is my just quick sort of overview of the last 5 or 6 episodes of the season. So we saw that all of the sisters got together in Napa and with their boyfriends, which could have been nice. It really could have been nice, but it turned out not to be so. One of the issues was that Tamar was being very Tamar-ish, and wanting the whole week or weekend or however long they spent in Napa to be about her and her birthday, even though apparently her birthday and Tracy's birthday are about 2 weeks apart. And apparently the weekend that they went to Napa is kind of like smack dab in the middle of Tracy and Tamar's birthday. So Tamar, just feeling like this was supposed to be her weekend for herself and not wanting to share with Tracy, was an issue. And in addition to that, she also shared, her birthday with Trina's proposal, coming from Vaughn. And, y'all, I'm not a huge fan of Tamar. I think that she is a big baby. She is, in her early 40s, and while she is still the baby of the family, she should still not actually be acting like a child. If y'all have dogs, are they as annoying as my dog? He's so annoying sometimes. I love him, but he's crazy. Anyways, so, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Tamar, I understand just a little bit of her frustrations, but I do think that it is kind of immature of her for it to take so much out of her to share this experience with other people and them having other parts of their lives as well. I mean, people know and should know that Tracy has felt like the outcast of her sisters since 30 years ago. And by purposely excluding Tracy's birthday, it could further marginalize her. Why couldn't this be a joint celebration just to show Tracy that you all care as much about her as you do about the other sisters, knowing that she feels like you all don't, via the history that you all have had together, and you all leaving her and, doing albums and touring and all that other stuff, and, her feeling like she had to give all of that up so that she could have her child. So another part of that, though, is that either last season or earlier this season, Tracy came off to me as having moved past that, having moved past the whole idea of being left behind and realizing that now is her season. She recently released an album, and her feeling like she's in, you know, the ambassadorship with the Black Cowboy whiskey or whatever it's called. Her having those things happen for her, having, you know, the success that she has and continues to have, that she's coming into her own and realizing that she doesn't need her sisters in order to be successful, and knowing that the reason why she didn't have the success at the time the sisters had it was so she could have it now. And that was my understanding of where Tracy was. And apparently those feelings of being marginalized by her sisters are coming back up for her, from her not really having an actual dressing room in Tamar's shows, from you know, her manager not being allowed to be in the rehearsals, and the confrontation that Cliff had with LaTroy. First off, using the 6-letter F word is horrific. It should never ever happen. Cliff was absolutely wrong, and he deserved to get his behind beat. That's just my thoughts on it. Cliff showing up against Tamar's wishes, I'm not really a huge fan of that. They like are pretty passive aggressive towards each other, and they like to let stuff bubble up and boil up, instead of addressing it head on. And I think that's a big part of the sisters' problem, is that they let things fester and they sweep it under the rug. And when they, you know, between the time that Tamar and Tracy had a problem on the tour and the time that they were in Napa, they'd been together at least 4 or 5 times and had an opportunity to talk about it, but decided not to. And so over the course of these weeks, or maybe even months, that all this stuff has been festering, it hasn't been talked about. And so things just all kind of came to a head. So one thing that I was not aware of, I knew that Tamar was upset that Trina got engaged during her birthday celebration or whatever. And again, I'm not 100% mad at Tamar about that, because when I grew up, I had to share everything. I was the oldest child. There are 7 of us. It's more complicated than that, but overall there are 7 of us. And growing up, it was rare that I had things that were just mine. I had to share everything. And now that I am an adult, I want to be able to pick and choose when I share. And it's not that I want to be selfish or anything like that. When people assume that I am sharing something instead of asking me, or, you know, things like that, that really bothers me, because growing up, I had to share. I didn't have the opportunity to have something of my own until I was like 17 is when I got my own room. When, you know, our family was actually able to afford for all of us to have our own rooms. And just growing up and always having to share, and if you think about it, their family growing up wasn't necessarily, you know, until Tony made it, maybe their family wasn't 100% always financially stable. There were 6 children, and 2 adults. And I'm sure Tamar had to share rooms with Trina. They had to share clothes and get hand-me-downs and all that kind of stuff. So, and, you know, considering how Tracy and Tamar's birthdays are so close together, they probably had to share birthday celebrations. My brother's birthday is exactly a month after mine. I've shared birthday parties with him. You know, I don't 100% blame Tamar for that, and kind of knowing where she's coming from a little bit. But I do feel like she took it over the top and did it very immaturely. And the fact that she recorded them and put them on live without their knowledge, and released to the world that they had gotten engaged before they had the opportunity to share with their families, is kind of messed up. So I saw that they did a interview or something like that with Steve Harvey, and Tamar, you know, somewhat apologized to Trina, and Trina was like, yeah, it was messed up, but I accept your apology. But anyways, moving on from that, I hope that they have recovered from that in particular. Tracy and Tamar just have this contentious relationship. And I did not like how things went down at that last dinner. Um, I don't like, I understand Kevin's point of view and saying that these new boyfriends are coming into the picture trying to facilitate this conversation, not really understanding all of the girls, not really understanding the dynamics of the relationship. And because Kevin has been there so long, he has a different viewpoint from everybody else. Everybody else has this, Kevin called it naive point of view. And when Kevin being introduced into the family so many years ago, his viewpoint on it is the men never get involved in the sister stuff, which is something that I 100% get because I feel like my family is the same way. It's kind of like men stay out of women's business and, the reverse, vice versa as well. So Kevin's viewpoint and understanding of it is my role as a husband is to be supportive of my wife. And because Kevin and Tracy have the only marriage that has, been sustained over these past, almost 30 years, he has been with her through all of the ups and downs and realizing that, her sisters left her behind. And, he has been there listening to her, feeling like she's the odd person out, like she's the redheaded stepchild. And his role is just to support her as opposed to trying to get her family to understand that. And the fact that Tamar was like very nasty towards Kevin and saying that nobody respects him and talking about him going back to jail. And it's just like that. I just don't get that. And then Tamar being weird and saying like him doing certain activities or certain things on TV might not be best for his images or for his business or whatever. And a part of me understands that he does not get that doing certain things on TV can maybe be damaging to his image or to his business. It's a different way to go about that. And basically saying that all of these activities that Kevin is introducing you to are ghetto. Since when are smoking cigars ghetto? Like Vaughn said, smoking cigars is usually like a sign of wealth or celebration or, so I don't understand why she said that it would be ghetto. Like, I just don't get it. Tamar just really does not respect Kevin, and that's unfortunate. She tends to not respect anybody's husbands, as far as I'm concerned. Not even her own, because she's still married, right? So, I mean, I found it interesting that for like the first time, probably in Braxton Family Values history, somebody had an issue with Towanda. I think there was only one time where I thought Tracy should have had more of an issue with Towanda and she didn't, is when Towanda tried to spread the rumor that Kevin had an outside baby. That's when I thought Tracy was going to dig into Towanda's behind, but whatever. But now seeing Tracy call Towanda a snake and telling her that she likes controversy and that she put Tracy in a situation that she didn't want to be in. Tracy did express that she was not interested in having a conversation that was facilitated by the new boyfriends, okay? And she felt that because they did it anyway, they once again did not care about her feelings. And her saying to Tamar is that you make it so hard to love you sometimes. I just really felt that. I really felt that. And it's hard to be on Team Tracy. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I care the most about Tracy's feelings in this whole situation out of all of the sisters. And then Trina next. But it's a little harder to be on Team Tracy because I thought that she was past everything, and she definitely is not. I think that she feels like she had finally gotten over that and gotten past that, and now things are going back to the way they were. People are, not giving her as much respect as she feels that she deserves by allowing her to get dressed in this dark basement with no dressing room, and being told that her manager cannot be there for her during these performances, and having disagreements with Tamar's manager or whoever he is, LaTroy, and just feeling like these new people who are new to the Braxton family situation have more authority over it than she does. And I really hope that the sisters are working everything out. For me, I was hoping that this would be their last season, that it would go out on a meh note, so that we could justify not having to see them again, because I feel like as more and more time goes by, their relationship, it gets worse. It feels like it's worse off. And, the thoughts about Dr. Sherry and TD Jakes and Iyanla not being able to help, and they just keep falling into the same cycle. And unfortunately, it's like, I don't think that they're doing this on purpose to continue the show or to get people to continue to watch. I did find that these last few episodes were some of the more interesting episodes in the past few seasons. But I really do think that they have a lot of issues that they need to work out. And as a person with a lot of sisters, like, I get it. I get that they have issues, but I don't know if they can really get past this. I felt like Tawanda was being a little insensitive. About the situation of Tracy, being upset about them taking the deal without her. And I don't think that she's necessarily mad about that anymore. I think that Tracy has always stated that she was not happy about being left behind. But I think now it's about that same idea continuing in their relationships. It's not that you all left her behind anymore. It's that you all treat her the same way that you treated her when you left her behind, even as an adult, even 30 years later. So it's not about that anymore. It's about the underlying message, the underlying concept that when it comes to how Tracy feels, nobody cares. When it comes to what Tracy wants, nobody cares. When it comes to hearing Tracy, nobody cares. And Tracy is always taking the leftovers, or Tracy is always the odd person out, or Tracy's who is the only person who has managed to stay married for an extended period of time, but nobody respects her husband. And it's too much. And I get that. So my hope is that Tracy can find peace, that all the sisters can find peace with each other, that they can get back to having fun without there being this underlying drama, whether they don't, like, if they have this drama and they don't talk about it, but they have a good time. Like, does that really matter? It doesn't matter if you all have a good time, but in reality, you're not on good terms with your sister. To me, it's not ideal. So those are my thoughts on Braxton Family Values. I feel like the season wrapped up pretty well. Rest in peace to I believe it's their niece that passed away. I saw something on social media that Tamar said that was very inappropriate about their niece's passing. So I just really can't mess with Tamar like that. But y'all, Braxton Family Values, I believe is over for this season. I think it's over with. I'm hoping that all of them, find that peace that they need and are able to move on and move forward in life. I hate to see their relationship get progressively worse as seasons go on. So I think it might be a good thing and a good idea for them to just quit the show and take everything that they've gotten from it, the fame, the businesses, the accolades, the shared moments, and just have that and move on and move forward with their lives, and do it on their own terms and not have to do it with each other, and with there's money tied up in these feelings, these residual feelings from their childhoods and their parents' divorce and all that kind of stuff. Just don't involve the world in it. Don't involve fame or money in it. And maybe that'll be the best thing for them. But who am I to talk? I don't know about the full situation, but yeah, those are just my thoughts. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about what the Braxton sisters should do. Should there be another season, or should they just let it go and work on their actual relationships without the pressure of having to do it on camera? Thanks again for watching. Peace out, home slices.